Hello, it's Cole Bombino here. We are here for Radiate Love, how to attract and keep the love that you want. I am a love coach, healer, and love intuitive, and it's my mission to help you tap into your own inner love so that you can create love in your life and relationships and in what you want most. So I'm excited to be here with you today for our retreat, another juicy, beautiful, amazing session. So take out your notebooks, make sure that you take your notes and that you really let yourself be present with what we're going to be talking about here today, because guess what? The woman that we have here today hosting with us is known as the man whisperer. Who doesn't need a little man whisperer in their life, right? We can all use a little extra good mojo. So we have Megan Wex with us here today, and she's really tremendous at helping people have a fulfilled dating experience so then we can create a really satisfying relationship after that. So I'm super excited for her to share with us today. So before we dive in, Megan, I just want to thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Cole.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. So nobody can explain better why you've been given this amazing name as the Man Whisperer. So tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you got this awesome name.
Thank you so much, Cole. Well, I have to say that the way I got this awesome name, it's pretty funny. I used to be far from a man whisperer. You know, Cole, I was not a natural at love. I lived in Manhattan and I pounded the streets for love for nearly a decade. And everything else seemed great on the outside. I had a great career and a wonderful group of friends, but that primary relationship was missing. That primary relationship that I wanted so badly. And I think so many of us do. No matter how strong and independent we are as women, we still long for that primary partner or masculine energy partner in our worlds. So I searched and I researched and studied, and through years of trial and error and so many broken hearts, I found that there is another way. And now it's my duty, it's my mission to share this other way with women. So here I am, and now friends of mine in Manhattan and clients, they call me the Man Whisperer. Someone came up with it and they see it on my site, one of my testimonials. And so I get messages from my clients all the time. You are the Man Whisperer. So I think my strength, and also having an older brother and I used to hang out with a lot of male friends in Manhattan. I really learned the other side and how they view women. And I really want to help women understand men and women are equal, but different, right, Cole? And if we can accept and respect that, we're going to have a lot easier time of it out there in the dating arena or dating minefield, as it is for many of us.
Yeah, I love that. And I think so many women can relate to you where they are getting it all done in all the other areas of their life, killing it, and then finding a struggle here in the space of love. And I think a lot of times you hear so many women, so many of the conversations that I have, women can't even own their desire to have love because they want to be in this empowered space. And just because you are an empowered woman who is really living a great life doesn't mean that we can't really own this desire to love and relationship and really step into understanding this piece and really being open to developing what we need to develop so that we can have a great experience in dating, because dating can be so fun. I totally get what you're talking about, Megan. I was not a dater. I had like a sign planted on my forehead that said, "Don't approach me, I'm unapproachable." And that's what I got a lot of. And then I did the same thing. I really committed to really being epic at dating and just having a kick butt time. And I remember with my fiance now, Michael, when we finally committed and chose to do it just us, I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I chose to have an epic time dating, because this is going to be it, this And this is it for you ladies. Like, your life is now. If you're single, you get to have an amazing experience dating. And I know something that you talk about, Megan, is like you mentioned, and you'll go deeper into this, that a lot of us are dating in this like linear, probably very logical way, and how you've created this abundance model through the courting process. And who doesn't want abundance in their dating experience and in their life, right? Abundance anywhere feels so, so tremendous. So let's dive in. What are you sharing with us today? Give us your wisdom, your man whispering wisdom.
First of all, I love how you said that to these women that they can have, and you get to have, an epic experience dating. Being single is fun. That's your opportunity to be free. You can choose, you have so much more choice because you're not tied down with family and other factors. And it's really a time for you to explore the world and figure out what your criteria is based on the people that you meet. So when I talk about linear dating, I see most people that come to me, most women that come to me for help, are dating in a linear fashion. So the linear model is where you're out there looking for someone and you're so glad that you finally find someone that you're attracted to. You get so excited and you're all in with that person. And every relationship, let's say 3 to 5 months are when most relationships end. And the woman, though, is in 100% before that. And when he starts perhaps not coming toward her anymore in the linear fashion, she's so all in so soon, but before the 3 to 5 month period, that she's overlooking certain things. She starts waiting around, checking the phone, analyzing and getting this laser focus. And it just becomes not fun anymore. We become racked with nerves and scared. We all have these inner fears of being alone and not being loved. And when you're all in with one person before he's invested in you, you've got no other options. You've put yourself in a position where you're getting all your emotional needs met by one person who's not invested in you. And another word for this is liking. This term liking is so popular, not just in middle school and elementary school kids, but with 60-year-old clients. Like, oh, but I really like him. And that word like, it keeps us glued on to this particular man, even if he's not coming toward her and doing the things that he needs to do to move the relationship forward. So although I used to date in the linear fashion as well, now that I'm on the other side of that and I've put this other model into play, the abundance model, we're going to get into that in a moment, it almost seems absurd to me. Why would we invest so much time and heart? And I'm not just talking months, right? I'm talking years. Women can invest years of their time with a man who is not trying to further the relationship. What she's invested in is the hope of what could be.
That's so good. That's so good. I totally hear you, and I can't tell you how many clients that I speak to are coming to me with this approach. And I know that everybody
all of them, no?
Right? Yeah, all of them. And we're ready to hear about this abundance model. Okay, so give it to us. Let's talk about what we get to start exploring. Like, what's this new way of dating that we get to start enjoying?
Well, first thing to know is that a man and his good qualities don't mean anything to you. They're meaningless to you unless he's trying to further the relationship or if he wants something that you want on a similar timeline. Otherwise, it's meaningless to you. So in the linear model of dating, you date a man for 3 to 5 months, and then let's say hypothetically or probably it falls apart, right? Then we're left, we have no man funnel at that point because we've been all in with this man for those 3 to 5 months. And quite frankly, we're heartbroken. Why is it that we only know a man? He's still basically a stranger, let's say 4 months, but we're still so disappointed and we are heartbroken over this. We have to pick ourselves up and get back out there and start searching for men again. We may not even be able to do that right away. So let's say one man that we explore deeply, that takes us about 6 months to gain composure again and gain strength. How long does it take us, Cole, to find another man?
Well, I mean, we're going to go through this process all over again. So,
Exactly. So how many men can you deeply explore in 1 year?
dose.
Using the linear model of dating. 2. So this is a numbers game. Don't get me wrong. Cole and I know, we both know very well, you must do the inner work or else this abundance model is not going to work for you. So I just want to preface all of this. I think based on what Cole said, and I have a similar story, I was very hard on the outside and not approachable. And I had to become soft on the outside and strong like a rock on the inside. And when you're able to make this transformation, a man can just feel it. And then his radar goes off that you're this high value woman who can handle your emotions. Okay. So that's number 1. And I'm sure there's many things that are touched on in this whole event where you can help yourself learn how to do that.
So before you go further, I want to make sure that the listeners really heard something you just said, because it was gold. You said that a lot of times we're hard on the outside, right? I described that I was hard on the outside. I didn't even know I was hard on the outside, right? I was really unaware. So that's why working with a coach or working with a mentor, having a girlfriend who's incredible at relationships to support you is really important, because what you don't see, they will see for you. And I was hard on the outside and really soft on the inside, really not loving myself, not in my power, feeling unworthy. And you get to create the opposite. Something that you just said, Megan, that was really awesome, was the inner work. You became strong on the inside, powerful on the inside, and that allowed you to be soft on the outside. Sometimes we mistake our hard outside as I'm strong and powerful and confident, when in reality it's the reverse. When we allow the outside to be soft and feminine and vulnerable, that's when we start to access that strength on the inside. That's the kind of energy that we want to show up with this abundance model, right?
Exactly. And women do not know they're walking around with a hard exterior shell. In fact, most women are, because we have to survive. We need our masculine energy and our game face to even get to work. To get to work in Manhattan, it's a war zone, okay? So we don't realize that we're walking around with this hard exterior shell, and it's a process to do the flip. But when men, though, on the other hand, they can feel naturally that the woman who's vulnerable is stronger. They just get it more than we do for whatever the reason. So like I said, the abundance model is fabulous, and it will get you to your soulmate quickly without getting stuck. But if you're not doing the inner work at the same time, you'll probably tire out from the abundance model, because the other name for the abundance model is the next model. And in my group, The Sovereign Jewel on Facebook, we have days where we talk about who's nexting this week, because we all have to move on, and it's painful. I had to next someone I really liked, maybe even loved, in order to move on and meet my soulmate. I had to leave that person behind, because although he was a great match for me, he wasn't a match for me, because our timelines were different and I wanted to move on with my life. Okay. So luckily I nexted him, and I went on, and I shortly after that did meet someone who was on my timeline who was even a better match for me. So with the abundance model of dating, there's something, the difference between the linear and abundance model is one thing, and that's the exploratory phase. That is a 3-month period where you do not become exclusive with the man. That's the difference. Within this 3-month period, you can really tell what his intentions are, what kind of person he is, and if he wants what you want on your timeline. How do you tell? A couple things. Well, over time, you just learn about the person, but you're asking certain questions within this phase. And you're also, the beauty of the abundance model and the way to run it, and the thing that muddies it and kind of ruins the abundance model, is getting physical with the man. Okay. So I think that many women are naturals at love, and they can get physical with a man and everything turns out all right. I'm not saying that you have to follow this rule and that it's such a strict rule for everybody, but I wasn't a natural at love, and this model really helped me shift into this stance where I was dating with more intent and dating with a little bit of I want to say self-preservation. I wasn't just diving in recklessly, getting attached, and then grasping onto a man who didn't want what I wanted. I had the opportunity to get to know these men without being physical, without being attached, and I could make a decision in a much clearer head. So in the abundance model of dating, you are exploring a handful of men before making a decision. And although it feels like you're going at a snail's pace, okay, and he's going to be pushing the whole time. So you're going to be like, oh, am I doing this right? Is this right? I should just hook up with him. I should just do this. Like he's, he might be pressuring you or wondering why, because right now, at least in the millennials world, there's a whole hookup culture going on. So you're totally going to stand out from that if you're involved in any of that. But beyond that, and in other generations, I think it's way more accepted. But why, ask yourself, why are we jumping in bed in this day and age with a stranger? He's a stranger, and it's threatening our health. It's not just our mental health, but our physical health. So you have every right to slow things down for the exploratory phase. That's 3 months. And the closer you can get to that 3 months, the more you're going to know whether or not this is right. So although it feels like a snail's pace, it's going to speed you up so much more. So when my husband and I were dating, it was about the 3-month period where we decided to be exclusive. I decided that he was worth risking being a girlfriend for. And I made it clear that I was looking to be married. I wasn't looking to be a long-term girlfriend. I made that clear when he asked for my exclusivity. So he knew what my timeline was, and we were engaged just under 6 months.
I love it.
The conversations had been had. The wrong men peeled away because I spoke my truth, and I cleared them out of the way because I was looking for someone who had the same timeline. I'm not saying they weren't good candidates for me in other ways, but the timeline's very important. Mm-hmm. Right, Cole?
Yeah, it's so important. So I just want to recap a couple of the big takeaways I took from the abundance model so that everybody's super, super clear on this. So first of all, the abundance model invites you to have a 3-month period where you're in this exploratory phase where you're multi-dating, right? You're getting to know a lot of different men. You're getting to know yourself through that process as well. And you're asking some really great questions to get a great understanding of whether you and this man are on the same timeline. So that brings a question to me from this part 1, where we're determining 3 months exploration. What are some great questions that the women can ask men throughout this time?
Great question. Before I tell you the questions, I want to talk to you about the timing of the questions. Think about it. After you sleep with a man and you're attached, do you think he knows you're attached? I think so. It's very hard, and I want to talk about this. Attachment changes us. So I do try to help my clients prevent strong attachment while they're searching and having clarity. And it's not easy to prevent attachment. I have steps toward that. But after you're attached and you try to figure out these questions or where he's going with his life and what he wants, it can feel, the energy is just different. It's thicker. It can feel a lot more needy. So that's why I want you to ask these questions in a very matter-of-fact way in the beginning of the process. And the less you're attached to the answer of the questions, the lighter the energy will feel for him. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I want you to ask these questions whenever you feel. It can be on the first phone screening. And just be like, oh, by the way, I'm dating. I'm looking for a life partner. This is what I call your intent statement. Everybody should have an intent statement. And like Cole said, you can't go out there and get what you want when you have shame around wanting what you want, or you haven't even admitted to yourself that you want what you want. Mm-hmm. So that's really going to hold you back. So that's why with my clients, the first thing we work on is the intent statement, because it forces you to work through the shame.
I love that. Can you help us like create a little intent statement? I know we're kind of veering off, but just for
No, it's part of the, you have to have the words and you have to know how to manage your man funnel with setting expectations. And I have a whole course on this downloadable on my site on manage your man funnel, but this is part of it. You must have an intent statement that rolls off your tongue. You must be honest with yourself about what you want to get what you want. And lastly, you must believe that you're going to get what you want to get what you want. At least over 70% belief, or maybe 65, but you don't have to have 100% belief that that's going to happen, but you have to generally be vibrating to the extent that you believe that you're going to get what you want. Okay, so an intent statement might be, let's say I'm on an initial phone call with a man. Just very matter of factly, oh, by the way, like, what are you looking for, what are you looking for on Bumble? Because I'm actually, I'm looking for a relationship and a wonderful life partner.
Sounds great.
Okay. And then you can embellish it and just be like, when you're out with him, you can paint the picture of what that looks like for you, which is really good. I'm looking for someone to go on wonderful adventures with, travel the world with, raise beautiful children together, and whatever that looks like for you, you can paint a beautiful picture and just be like, that's what I want. And, I know I'm going to find it. That's also very attractive when he feels that you're going to find that. And what that does is it almost instills his urge to capture, because you're just stating what you want, you're going to find it, and you're not saying like, that it has to be with him. You're giving him that opportunity, but there's no pressure. Now, if we're sleeping together and you're attached and he can feel that energy, and if your attraction and attachment is very high, he's going to feel that. And so it's just more dangerous to ask that after attachment occurs.
Yeah, that's really good. I love that. And it's so true. In the beginning stages, you get to talk about your intention and what you're looking for in love in a very detached way, because you're just sharing who you are and what you're looking for. It's not with this man yet. I mean, you're in these early phases. So you get to say, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I love about men, or this is, where my direction is going, and he just is getting to know you. You're not talking about him in that moment. And I love that we get to express our desire and what we're looking for from that detached space. It's really good.
Yeah, it's much more powerful. So that's why I'm prefacing the questions with that. I want you to not have shame around asking these questions right away. A woman who has a hard exterior shell, she may feel shame and too much shame to ask these questions. And guess what? When she does, he can feel her shame. Mm-hmm. She injects him with the energy of shame, and he feels it from her when she speaks, and it feels icky. So you've got to practice this in the mirror and get used to it, and love all those parts of you, and accept the fact that you want what you want, and there's no shame around that.
Yeah, love that.
So the questions are that I like. A lot of my clients are dealing with divorced men. So a great one is, do you see yourself getting married again? Are you open to having more children ever? Do you like children? Are you open to having a family with someone else's children? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you looking for on this site?
Great question.
Very matter of fact, just figure out what he's looking for before. Otherwise, it can get too late to ask these questions. And then when we ask them, puts a damper on things.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Those are really clear questions that all of you can start practicing using in that matter-of-fact way. And that's what's great about having that exploratory phase, right? Because it releases the pressure when you're multi-dating, because you can see this all as a practice. You get to practice being able to ask these questions and release that pressure around yourself for doing those.
They're all practice. And this is a new favorite concept that I like to talk about with regards to men. Men are equals but different. But until a man means something to you and he's trying to work towards becoming better in your life, I sort of feel like it's a game, or it's just it's almost a sport. You've got to get around these men, open your heart, not hand over your heart on a silver platter, show your heart, and whoever sticks after this 3-month period and he loves you, and you love him, go for it. Risk being a girlfriend with him for a short amount of time, whatever your timeline is. If you're looking to cohabitate, you don't have to worry so much, right, about being a long-term girlfriend. Many of my clients are looking to remarry soon. So you want to be hanging with someone or be in a relationship with someone who wants those same things. But I like to almost give a nickname, because we're multi-dating, as Cole says. So, it's fun to have a little name for them, and it almost dehumanizes them in a very healthy way where we don't get too attached, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. I can't tell you how many girlfriends and all their nicknames with all their men. And now you get to use it in like a really healthy way. So another piece I wanted to highlight about the abundance model that you're talking about, and give a little tidbit of inspiration to the ladies around this. So Megan talked about in that 3-month period, delaying the physical connection, right? Delaying that sleeping with them, hooking up with them phase. And I'd almost like to shift for you, the person listening, your kind of mindset around that and what that sounds like. Instead of thinking of, I can't have sex with them, or I can't sleep with them, or I can't hook up with them, and it being a lacking thing, think about, I get to build emotional intimacy with them during this time. This is where the emotions and the emotional connection gets to develop, because the second we have physical intimacy, the emotional connection, the emotional development really slows down. But the emotional development really speeds up when we access it without that physical intimacy. So instead of thinking that, oh, the physical is going so slow, you get to think about how fast the emotional connection is building in that 3-month period. So I really, for myself, that's what I love to look at, and my clients, I really invite them to look at it from that perspective, because then that's exciting, right? That's exciting to think, wow, the emotional development can get so strong because we're pausing that physical development, because the physical development will be like kind of stepping in quicksand with the emotional development. It slows it down unless you already have that big, expansive emotional development already in your experience with that man. Would you agree, Megan?
Absolutely. That's such a great point and a great way to describe it, Cole. I love that.
Awesome. Well, this has been so amazing hearing about this abundance model. I can't believe how quickly our time has gone, but I do want to just make sure there's anything else that you really feel it's important for us to take away from this time today. Any final tidbits that the ladies absolutely need to know in order to create a fulfilling dating experience, which is going to lead to a really amazing, longer lasting connection from that fulfilling experience?
I'd say a final tip, and a great way to lengthen and maintain the exploratory phase and not get attached, one really easy way to do it is just stay out of each other's places. Keep the formalities for a little bit. Don't get on the couch, because your oxytocin, you get attached just from snuggling on the couch together. So just do yourself a favor and try to stay out of each other's homes. And if you want some more of my tips on dating, I have a whole freebie which you can download, and it's called the Master Your Man Checklist. So you want to check that out before you're out on the streets and in the fields dating. And those all the preliminary work. Like I said, Cole and I, we both know you must do the inner work as well. But my checklist is really going to help prevent any of those major mistakes that most women are making right now out there in the dating arena.
So good. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your own experiences with all of us here. It's been so much fun. And for those of you who want to get more of Megan, make sure that you take advantage of that freebie. You're going to find the link in the email that hooked you up with our session here today. And then you're also going to find it on our expert page next to Megan's bio and photo. So Thank you, Megan. This has been absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful for your time, your energy, and all you've shared.
Thanks for having me, Cole. It was really a blast.
Yeah. So for all of you with us, let's finish with a final breath of love, sending our intention, our vision out into the universe together. So go ahead and close your eyes. You can place your hand on your heart and really connect to your intent. We talked about intention around what we're creating. What's your intent? Are you looking for that life partner? Are you looking to improve your current relationship? What is it? Are you looking to love yourself, right? Your intent is your own. So take a moment and own it right here, right now, as your hands are right on your heart. And let's take a deep breath together. Exhale all of your air out. Take a deep breath in and really own that intention. And take a deep breath out and send it out into the universe. Thank you so much for being here with us. Love and light to each and every one of you. Namaste.